Most law firms don't have a budgeting problem. They have the wrong budget for the kind of firm they are. Personal injury attorneys will tell you they live on a financial roller coaster. Cases come in, settlements feel close. Then a defense carrier delays, a court date shifts, and a fee you counted on in Q2 shows up in Q4, or not at all that year. And every January, the same thing happens. Someone builds a budget. It looks reasonable. It has a revenue number, an expense line, maybe even a quarterly breakdown. And by March, nobody's opening the file. Not because the owner is undisciplined, not because the firm doesn't care about the numbers, because the tool they're using was never designed for the kind of firm they run. That's what this video is about. SCORE has data that shows 82% of small businesses fail due to cash flow problems. And when you talk to plaintiff attorneys who are stressed about money, it almost never comes down to revenue. Their caseload looks healthy, their fees look solid on paper. The problem is timing. And timing is exactly what an annual budget can't capture. Here's what I mean. An annual budget assumes something about your revenue cycle. It assumes that money you earn this year arrives this year. Maybe not perfectly evenly, but roughly within the calendar. For a firm that does hourly work, that assumption works. For a personal injury firm on contingency, that assumption is structurally broken. Cases are running longer. Cases that once settled in 6 to 12 months are now running 18 to 36 months, sometimes longer. So you have a budget built on one set of timing assumptions and a firm that operates on a different cycle. That's not a discipline failure, that's a tool mismatch. And once you see it that way, the question changes. You stop asking, why can't we stick to the budget? You start asking, is this the right instrument? I want to give you a frame that's useful here. Think about the difference between a thermometer and a thermostat. A thermometer tells you what the temperature is. It reads the current state. It just reports. A thermostat does something different. It holds a set point. When the temperature drifts, it responds. It doesn't wait for you to notice. It keeps you in range. An annual budget is a thermometer. You look at it occasionally, and it tells you whether you're above or below a number you set months ago. By the time you look at the gap, conditions have changed. A rolling budget is the thermostat. It doesn't just tell you where you are, it lets you change where you're going, and it's not more work. When you update monthly, you're staying in contact with the business. That gives you the ability to respond. The difference between flying blind and seeing it coming 6 weeks out, that's a rolling budget. Not more meetings, not more reports, just the right instrument, updated at the right cadence. Let me be specific about what I mean when I say tool mismatch for a PI firm. It assumes a 12-month cycle. If you take a case this year, you expect the fee this year. But if your cases run 36 months, you're writing a plan. That ignores where most of your money actually lives. The bulk of your revenue is sitting in an active caseload. So when you look at the budget in September and you're short, it's not because spending ran high. It's because cases pushed. I've worked with firms where a managing partner knew the status of every case in the pipeline. They had the info. What they didn't have was a planning tool that used that information. A rolling budget connects the dots. When a case shifts to next year, that change ripples through the financial picture. The owner sees the gap. That is not a complicated concept, but it requires using the right instrument, and it doesn't mean more work. Most people assume switching to a rolling budget means more work, more meetings, more spreadsheets. It doesn't. It doesn't mean rebuilding the whole model. It means updating 5 numbers. Let's list them. Case intake volume. How many new cases came in, and are you tracking ahead or behind your expectation? Average expected fee. Has your sense of what the active cases are worth shifted? Check your typical mix. Projected close timing. Are the cases you expected to settle still on track, or have any of them pushed? Overhead run rate. Did anything change in your fixed costs? Rent, payroll, recurring expenses? And headcount cost, any changes in the team that affect your monthly expense base? That's it, 5 inputs. Everything else in the model flows from those. For a firm of 10 to 20 people, this is a 90-minute conversation, not a rebuild, not a new process. A brief review of the assumptions that drive your financial picture. And over time, something else happens. You start to develop an intuition for the business. You feel the drift. You see a case timing shift, and you already know what it means for cash in 8 weeks. That's how leaders lead. If you want to test whether your current budget is giving you real visibility, I'd start with one question. Pull up your budget from January, then look at your active caseload right now. Compare the pipeline. How many cases were in the pipeline when that budget was built? How many have different timing? Is it reflected? If the budget doesn't know what the caseload knows, it's a thermometer. It's reading the room from months ago. The shift to a rolling budget starts with one connection. What does the pipeline actually tell me about the next 6 months? And whose job is it to translate that into the numbers? In a smaller firm, that's often the managing partner. In a larger one, there's usually someone doing the work, but the methodology matters. Tracking actuals is looking backward. Updating assumptions is how you see forward. That's the difference. Sit with this question. If your budget was for a 12-month firm and your cases take 30, what is it actually telling you? Not what the numbers say. What is the instrument itself capable of telling you, given how your firm earns money? If there's a mismatch between the tool and the revenue cycle, you can be disciplined and still be flying blind. The rolling budget doesn't solve every problem, but it gives you the right instrument for the kind of firm you actually run. And once you're holding the right instrument, the conversation in your next leadership meeting changes. You're not explaining why the budget missed again. You're talking about what the next 90 days actually look like. That is a concept worth thinking about for your firm's future.